Hi, this is Chris from Formden, and I'm going to show you how to use our Bootstrap form builder. So the goal of the Bootstrap form builder is to make it easy to generate Bootstrap forms without having to write out all of the Bootstrap form syntax. So you start with a typical contact form, but you can add any field you want. We can add anything from a number to radio buttons to a drop-down, as well as telephone and date, paragraph of text. Then once we add different fields, we can move those fields around. We can reorder them. And for any individual field, we can edit it. So for example, we have three choices. We could say the choices are peanut butter, jelly, and we can get rid of the third choice. Okay, now as you make changes, they'll be reflected in the editor tab, but the editor tab isn't what your form is going to look like when you're done. It's a rough idea, it should give you the structure, but the actual look with CSS styling is going to be in the preview tab. So you can see, select a choice, peanut butter and jelly. And the third tab is the code tab, and this is what we can copy and paste when we're done. Just copy and paste the relevant part of the HTML code, and you're able to paste that into your web page, and you will have your form. Okay, so those are the three parts. I'd also like to show that when we edit fields, we can delete fields. So we can press the minus button, we'll remove fields. And for a given field, we can make it required. So run email, it's currently required, but we can make it not required. We can give it a different name. We can give it a placeholder. As well as we can give it a unique ID. So this is the input name. This is what's going to be posted to the server. So it's email, but we could say email address. And then when we come to the code tab, if we go look at this, we can see email address it creates a label for us. It gives the email address the ID and the name email address, and you can see the placeholder there. And again, you can see it in the preview tab. Finally, if you go to the settings tab, we can make changes to the font. So let's say we want to go with a courier look, kind of more of that typewritten code look. You can change the color of the font. You can make the font color different for the submit button. We could make our submit button we can make all of our inputs square if you're kind of going for more of a Metro Windows look. So you can really change things well, and you can see these changes are being made with a little bit of additional inline styling. Okay. And finally, I'd like to note, even if you're not using Bootstrap on your website, you can still use this form on your website. And that's because we figured out a way to isolate Bootstrap to a certain class. So you'll notice in the code that the Bootstrap is wrapped in the class Bootstrap ISO. So our form is wrapped in this Bootstrap ISO code. And we've included a style sheet to Bootstrap ISO.css. And so if we go to this, you can see all of the typical Bootstrap 3.3 CSS has now been prefixed with the class Bootstrap ISO. And so it's only going to apply if these elements are within the Bootstrap ISO class. And the reason this is nice is because if you're not using Bootstrap on your site, you can just use this link, use this CSS style sheet, and you can wrap everything in Bootstrap ISO, and you can get the benefit of a Bootstrap form without having it mess up the rest of your CSS. So hopefully this gives you an idea of what's possible with the form builder. I encourage you to check it out. When you're done, you can save your form for later if you want to come back and make changes later. And you can also create an account to set up processing. So once you have a form, maybe if it's a contact form, maybe you want people to be able to email you. Right, that has to be done on the server. What we do at Formden is we offer a service where you can post your forms to our server, add a little snippet of JavaScript. We'll deal with validation, we'll filter out spam, We will email your responses, save them to our database. So all the things you typically do on the server side, you can do in a really easy graphic interface, and you don't have to be setting up server-side processing for your forms on every single website. We'll take care of it for you, but we allow you to keep that control of the front end. So thanks for checking out this tutorial. Shoot us an email if you have any questions or leave a comment. Thanks.